Welcome to Dateline Schools, a presentation of the St. Clair County Regional Educational Service Agency, with your host, Chris Troy.
March is Reading Month, so it is a perfect time to talk about early literacy. The Great Start Collaborative has multiple initiatives to support literacy here in St. Clair County. And here to talk about some of these programs is Riley Alley from the Great Start Collaborative. Riley, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Yes, glad to be here.
So the Great Start Collaborative focuses on early childhood here in St. Clair County, and literacy is one piece of that work. Riley, tell us about some of the projects the Collaborative has recently been working on.
So we actually have multiple projects. The longest standing one is our Imagination Library, which provides free books to children 0 to 5 in St. Clair County. But we also started a new campaign a couple of years ago called Talking is Teaching. This campaign really focuses on giving parents and caregivers and really our whole community opportunities to really talk, read, and sing with our children. And then the last project, which is very new, is our story walks that we put in Fort Gratiot, in Marysville, and then we're working on a new one, hopefully to be out at the Pine River Nature Center.
Okay, let's go back and talk a little bit about Talking is Teaching. Is that a new program? Is that just something here in St. Clair County, or is that statewide?
So it's actually a statewide campaign, and it really started right around 2020, so we got a little bit of a late start on getting it out to the community, but about 2021 we really started putting materials out, putting information out, and it's something that is trying to give parents those talking points of what to really have those conversations with our young children. So we have posters that say, let's talk about summer. And all over the posters are just simple talking points of, what do we see in the sky in the summer? What does the sky look like in the summer? What is the grass? What is all around us? What are the flowers? So that we can start asking kids and let them have conversations back and forth with us.
So I could see that being a really great thing as a parent to say, oh, look at that bird up in the sky. What kind of bird do you think that is? Is that kind of what we're thinking?
Absolutely. And really it comes down to the fact that parents are busy. We're just moving from one step to the next. And not that we don't want to take the time to talk to our children, or not that we don't know how to talk to our children, but sometimes we just get stuck in our everyday routines and we just keep going, where we're trying to just remind you of when you're cooking, when you're sitting there making lunches, you can be talking about what you're making. You can be talking to your child and ask them about what does it taste like, what does it look like, what else could we have with our lunch, or when you're outside playing. So it's trying to embed all of this into just our everyday life.
Riley, you talked about the Talking is Teaching campaign and using restaurants and laundromats. How have they been to work with?
They're great. So it's an opportunity for us to partner with all of our local businesses. One of those being Royal Coin Laundry up in Port Huron. We were able to partner with them and create a space that has a bookshelf with books that children can take with them because we keep replenishing. It also has a table so that we were able to include coloring sheets and crayons. So when families are there doing what they do all the time, what we have to do, we're creating a literacy space that just opens up opportunities for our children who have to sit there and wait. We've done the same thing with restaurants. We've partnered with local restaurants, particularly 4-Star here in Marysville, where we provided placemats that have talking points on them. They're real child-friendly. We also provided them with books so that they can give books to families that have young children who are sitting and eating. And it's an opportunity to use that time that you're waiting for your food, instead of handing over maybe your cell phone or instead of bringing in a tablet into the restaurant, we're encouraging you to use the books, use the placemats, have conversations with your children, because that language piece is a huge precursor to your literacy development in life.
Riley, a few years back, you started a new program that mixed reading with exercise. Can you tell me about Story Walk?
So we were really excited. We partnered with many different people to make that happen. We had funding through our Great Start Collaborative, but we partnered with our local library, who really was kind of the forerunner of this idea, and then our local Parks and Rec to be able to put the first story walk up in Fort Gratiot County Park. And the idea is really to bring literacy, again, to where families are, and to also add that little physical aspect to reading. So up at the park, the story walk includes different panels. Each page of the book is found on that panel, and they're spaced, a little bit away so that the child can walk from one panel to the next and read the story all the way around the loop. So again, it's really just giving that excitement of having a book where you are and giving an opportunity to read, that it's not just on the lap right before bedtime. Reading can happen anywhere, anytime.
Riley, how long are the books that are used in Storywalk?
Good question. So they vary depending on each book is different, but we have about 21 panels, so we can have a story that has about that many pages. And they usually range, children's books usually range between 15 to 25 pages when you're really thinking about it. So it's a perfect distance for the children to walk around. In Fort Gratiot, it's a loop, so they can read the book and end right back where they started. Marysville, we put one in the fall in Marysville Park, and theirs is more of a straight path, but you're going from one playground to the next. So it's a great opportunity. If you're already going to be walking to that playground, take a little bit of time and read each story.
Why does Storywalk work so well to get kids' attention?
Children are not really in a hurry whenever we're going anywhere. If you ever notice, they take everything in because this is the first time they're seeing it. Whereas parents, we want to get from point A to point B. These story walks really allow us as parents to slow down and say, you know what, let's read each page, let's look at it, let's walk to the next spot, and really try to go back to our children's pace.
Riley, I know these kind of programs don't come for free, so who are you working with to help sponsor this unique program? Also, have you had any feedback as to what the public think about Storywalk?
So the Fort Gratiot one, we were lucky. We partnered with, like I said, the library. We got funding from our community foundation to be able to do this, and then the county parks helped us put that in. And then in Marysville Rotary funded that story walk. And it really has, outside of built all of our new partnerships, it's really given us that. But it also is getting good feedback from parents. When we put it out there that this new story walk is available, it's constantly being shared. People are saying they're excited to get out there. Spring should hopefully get more people out there as the weather gets better. I know it's not as many people in the winter, but that book changes monthly, so they can get out there all the time into these parks and see what's out there.
One of the other programs that the Great Start Collaborative have been spearheading over the last few years is the Imagination Library. Just how long has the Imagination Library been around, and would you consider it a success?
Yes, so the Imagination Library has been around for a while. We started it in 2012. And since then, we have actually been able to provide over 500,000 books to children in St. Clair County. The program is available for anybody 0 to 5 years old living in St. Clair County, and they get a free book mailed to their house every month until they turn 5.
Now, there's somebody pretty famous behind this whole program. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about her?
Yes, so Dolly Parton started this program. She started it in her hometown in Tennessee, and then saw such a good response, she decided that she would open this up to any community that was able to fund it. So in 2012, St. Clair County, we were lucky. We have St. Clair County RESA. We also have United Way, who are our main funders for the program. And then we get different grants from the Community Foundation. We've written other grants, and we have also started an endowment fund to try to make sure that this program continues for years to come. So although Dolly Parton definitely does, underwrite the program, we fund it locally. So anytime anybody is interested in donating back to the program, it costs about $25 per child per year, which is just over $2 a book. So when you think about the cost of books, these are high quality books. It's a great program and a great investment in our community.
So Riley, who are signing up these kids to receive these books? Is it families, grandparents, friends of the family?
Well, that's the great part is anybody, if they wanted to sponsor a child, could get in on this. At the end of the day, it's a free program, so nobody has to give. But a lot of the times, many families feel like, I can afford to give back, but it's the excitement of getting that book in the mail instead of going to the store and buying your child a book. So instead, sign your child up, get that book in the mail, and if you wanted to, you can give back. It's a great gift for grandparents to donate back in their grandchild's name, or parents, maybe even after your child has graduated. It's just an awesome program.
Riley, I guess the question is, why is literacy so important?
Well, it starts from birth. It's what impacts everything we do. Kindergarten through third grade years, we're learning how to read. We're learning all the aspects of literacy. Because then after third grade and beyond, we're using those skills that we've learned to then learn more. We're using that to, go further in our science skills, our history, everything else. So to build those foundations is then what's going to give us the opportunities later to learn anything we possibly want to.
Well, Riley, thank you so much for all the work that you and your team do here in St. Clair County for our little ones. For Dateline Schools, I'm Chris Troy. Dateline Schools is a presentation of St. Clair County RESA.